We have multiple De'Aaron Fox trade updates, and yesterday, reports were escalating a crazy amount. Monte McNair was on the phones, and a deal looked imminent. Now, we have the latest updates on that entire situation, what's really going on behind the scenes, and with the Kings playing the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight, we have some updates in terms of what's going on behind the scenes for Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox practicing with the team, everything that's happening, and some other developments that have happened regarding this trade front. Because frankly, this is an inflection point for the Kings franchise, so everything that's coming out has serious implications on the organization. So lots of stuff to break down. But folks, again, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with this situation, and you're a part of the 83% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, make sure you guys hit that sub button so you stay up to date with everything that's going on with this Sacramento Kings team, with this trade deadline, with the De'Aaron Fox stuff, and really everything in between. So let's dive into the madness, because that's the only word to describe all this. It has been madness with this De'Aaron Fox stuff. If you weren't following yesterday, essentially news came out, we saw this report, covered it yesterday, that the Spurs are very active and perhaps close on a complicated 4-team deal that would bring De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. Stay tuned. This is a local Spurs beat reporter, and essentially this came out on top of it. I've done a lot of this in the past, I've done this a long time. 98% of the time, the NBA trade talks, rumors, scenarios fall apart or are different than the stuff that the agents and GMs float out there or leak. So anything can happen, but folks are busy. Nothing done yet as far as you know. So this is a Spurs insider beat reporter, and then on top of it, yesterday, basically mid-recording, this report came up that I don't have right now, but Brett Siegel came out and essentially validated all these reports that are coming out regarding all these deep talks with multi-team trades. And then we had another one drop essentially just after that video went up, and it was madness. Basically, Dusty Garza came out and said it's almost game time, and out of respect for the trade, which is pending, I didn't want to say much, but more since Jake Fisher, it might have been Jake Fisher or Brett Siegel, there's so many reports dropping at this point, acknowledge our reporting and added additional perspective on the Bleacher Report live stream. He will add that 6 teams are now involved in this whole trade discussion. So stay patient, stay tuned, everything that's going on. So this dropped yesterday right after the video that I put out. And basically I've been waiting to see what will actually go down, see what will actually pop up. Because of course things really felt like we were at a point where a move is about to happen and deal is imminent. That's the kind of discussions that were happening there at this point. And then basically later that night, news came out from Jason Anderson that according to a source with knowledge of the situation, all is quiet as of right now regarding the De'Aaron Fox trade fronts with Sacramento star De'Aaron Fox. Things can change quickly, but it doesn't sound like a deal is imminent at this time. So again, that's sort of what happened. There's been talks, there's been chatter, there's been a lot of stuff going on regarding this whole trade scenario, and clearly there are some serious discussions that are going on now at this point, and you have multiple reporters, whether it's local Spurs guys, whether it's NBA guys, whoever the heck it is. There are a lot of reports going on right now about a deal being close to over the finish line, and of course, no team is going to rush it. Multi-team trades, they are an absolute nightmare to figure out, especially with the current cap situation in the NBA. So don't expect this to be, something that's rushed from NBA teams. This deal, and as I said in yesterday's video, usually these types of things, they lead right till the deadline because everyone's trying to negotiate bargain for as much draft capital, as much assets, as much little pieces that they can get. And with multiple teams, it's tough to really get over the line, but if all teams are motivated, which it seems like they are, if they're already having deep discussions like this and it's only Saturday, then I very much expect a deal to be happening over the next few days. We're just going to hear a lot of different fielding of offers. We're going to hear a lot of rumors, a lot of buzz, a lot of chatter about different teams that are looking to get involved in the De'Aaron Fox sweepstakes, and that's kind of the avenue that we are going to go about this. So that's what we can expect from the De'Aaron Fox front. Of course, the Kings don't want to sell low on their superstar player in their De'Aaron Fox. This man, you don't want to sell low on a guy that this season, he was averaging 25, 5, and 6, but interesting assets come back. We broke down Jeremy Sohan. We broke down Devin Vassell in recent videos. But basically, the Spurs, we know what offers are probably going to be out there on the table. We've discussed them. We've talked about them yapped a ton. But there's one team that since this big multi-team trade, I don't want to say fell apart, but lost some traction. There's one new team that is trying to get into the mix. And someone we heard a decent bit about early on, but it is the Orlando Magic. According to Evan Sideri, the Magic have quietly been an aggressive team in the trade marketplace. Orlando has inquired on the De'Aaron Fox and Cam Johnsons as potential trade targets ahead of this year's trade deadline. Keep a close eye on the Magic over the next few days as they look to add more scoring firepower. Now, there's been a lot of stuff drop on the Orlando Magic, specifically on the Orlando Magic beat reporter side and everything that's happening out there on that front, but they are a very interesting team for De'Aaron Fox because, of course, they have Franz Wagner, they have Paolo, they have a team that is one of the more elite defenses out there in the entire NBA, and frankly, they can add a little bit of extra firepower at the point guard position. They do have a ton of guys there. They have Anthony Black, they have Cole Anthony. They have multiple guys. They have multiple guys out there at that PG spot. So, but no one nearly at the level of a De'Aaron Fox. So they have some contracts in KCP. They have some Jonathan Isaacs of the world to be able to help facilitate a trade. But adding some all-star level talent out there at the PG position just makes a ton of sense for the Orlando Magic to kind of swoop in and try to offer up a better deal for the Sacramento Kings to really take seriously and actually make a specific offer of. Now, as we saw, the Kings are not the only team out there in negotiations, in talks with the Orlando Magic. The Cam Johnson stuff is another name that's been floating around, and even a guy that the Kings have been linked to for the course of this entire season. So, the Magic are definitely a team that I wouldn't be shocked if over the next few days, we see more and more stuff come out about them before this deal actually goes down as being a legitimate trade partner. Because again, they're a warm destination. They're a team that's on the upswing, and frankly, they do have some pieces that could come back. I mean, you get multiple picks out there. You add in an Isaac to make the money work. You get in a Black. You get in Anthony Black. You get some of these guys that can have an impact out here on this Kings roster, whether it's right away, whether it's a future or not. We'll see how things play out. But the recent sort of banter and chatter about what Monte McNair is looking for is multiple win now pieces and going more in that avenue rather than just the draft capital front. And so many times this season, we've brought up how there are legitimate holes out here in this Kings lineup that if fixed, there's enough talent on this team to really be able to make a push, make a run. Of course, you're losing a ton of that talent when De'Aaron Fox goes out, but still with DeMar DeRozan, still with Domas, with Keegan Murray, with all these guys, Malik Monk out there still on your team. If you fill up some of the holes in the defensive and three-point shooting ends, then there's legitimate reason for Kings fans to be excited about what's going on here ahead of this year's trade deadline. We also have the John Collins deal, which gained some momentum, gained some steam. It was another deal that felt imminent, but the Kings are not trying to, rush and get things immediately over the line. There's still nearly a week buffer, to make these trades happen. So keep it tuned to Kings Digest. We'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on. Anyways, you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.